Hello. My name is Becca, or you can call me Becca Boo. I won't take too long to introduce myself. I think all you need to know is that I'm 23. I have a dog who I love more than anything, and I have an obsession with this mod pack. And if I'm being honest, an obsession with Minecraft in general. I don't have the personality for this, but I did try streaming. It was painful to say the least, but I'll let you see how that went for yourself. Just prepare for some secondhand embarrassment, okay? I wish I could start off showing you guys that I'm funny sometimes and maybe said something witty to open my stream, but sadly, it just sounded like I was about to cry. I'll spare you from that fiasco and let you know that I'm just following the quest line at this point. I think the VH team did a fantastic job of making a line that gives you a decent intro to the game. Of course, they can't hold your hand through everything, but it serves as a great knowledge base. Once I hit the point of needing to go mining, I hoped I could find a significant cave beneath my little island. Unfortunately, I only found creepers. So, I set a waypoint home and set off to find a cave that would take me below -30. I should also mention that the only pre-work I did for the creation of this world is find a mushroom island to live on. I don't want to be dealing with all these mobs spawning on me in the overworld, plus I love the mushroom aesthetic, so I knew I'd want to live here. I sailed until I found a village, and I was trying really hard to connect with all of the 2 people watching my stream.
I have a dog.
I do. I love her. Her name is Roki, but oh gosh, I hate myself sometimes. Anyway, the first village turned out to be another island with no cave openings, so I sailed off again until I found more land. This time, I found a big boy village, but quickly discovered
It's another island.
it was a big island though, so I decided to look around for a cave anyway and loot the village. I was really wishing for some abilities at this point too.
Oh, I just tried to vein mine.
Sad times, but I got what I needed and headed back home. Okay, wait, hold on. I would just like to remind you and reiterate the fact that I said my personality is very much not cut out for streaming. Just before you see the next clip.
Welcome to the show, Awkward.
No, man, panic was coming out of me. Anyway, I went back home and dropped my stuff off, and then I found some land and almost died.
Oh, whoa. Can we not? It's almost daytime. Oh, no! No, don't shoot at me now, please. I'll be dead.
But I survived, thankfully, because I would have probably just turned off my stream right then and went to look for more caves. But I found a ton of fakes.
Nope.
I was getting way too upset, but trying to keep it together because I was a streamer. Finally, I came across this super cool biome with a bunch of calcite and basalt and red sand. I love the way these colors work together, it just makes me super happy. It also makes me happy because it finally led me to the cave that I've been looking for an hour. I made my way down, killed a couple of bad guys, and found a diamond. Does anyone else get outrageously angry when they find a singular diamond ore? I feel like it shouldn't be allowed. I went further down and found this cool looking lava spider cave thingy, which finally led me to chromatic iron. I started mining it all up, but then I just couldn't.
Is that lag? Question mark?
But it was fine. I was being a professional here. I just logged out and logged back in and waited to see what would happen.
This is interesting.
In reality, inside I was a mess. But then the game came back and proved I was just being dramatic.
Okay. I don't know why that happened, but we're good now.
I got what I needed and made my way back home. I also found an ocean monument on the way back.
Oh, nice.
God, Becca, way to sound excited. Anyway, I went back home and completed the quest before going down to my mini cave to mine the vault stone I'd found for the next one. As you watch me complete the next couple of quests, I have to warn you that in the next hour of the stream, my singular brain cell decided to take an extended 15-minute break, okay? I saw that I needed a vault altar, and for some reason I was convinced that I would need a book. I started breeding the mushrooms on the island, completely forgetting that I'm playing modded and there are far more efficient ways to breed animals. Even if I wasn't playing modded, if I wanted one book quickly, wouldn't the smartest course of action be to just head to a village and raid it? Yeah, I agree. Instead, I set off to find sugarcane. On the island, I remembered that animal jars exist and mined up some sand to make glass. As I'm editing this, I'm raging at myself for being so inefficient, but the sound that the mod pack makes when you put an animal in a jar makes me feel way better. P.S. Sorry, sheepy.
Oh, I thought I was hitting the grass. Awkward.
Once I picked up every animal on the island, I headed off to another island to get sugarcane, still stuck on the idea of needing a book. Luckily, I found some sugarcane on the next island over and went back home to make some animal pens and put the jar babies in their new homes. Please, if someone could tell me why I'm still trying to breed up the mushrooms, I'd be super grateful because I have no idea what I'm doing at this point. I planted the sugarcane and crafted the altar. Look at that. Without a book. I was too embarrassed to say anything about it on stream, but trust me, I definitely felt it. The game freaked out again when I tried to place the altar.
What? Hello? Okay.
Once I finished creating my first crystal, I collected my free skill point and moved on to crafting a better enchanting table. Finally, I needed that book. You know, that book that I spent the last hour preparing to make. But sadly, the sugarcane didn't grow an inch. So I went back to the island once again to do what I should have done in the first place. Loot the village for a book. Oh look, I could have also just gotten the leather from here.
Books, yay. Okay.
I got what I needed pretty quickly and boated back home to craft the enchant table. Now would be a good time to share that I have played through this mod pack once before, only to level 60, but I was fully aware that I would need a vial at some point, and would need glass for that.
I didn't get the glass, and I need it. Back we go.
And we did, thankfully for the last time. I got the glass and crafted the bottles there because I felt like if I didn't do it then, I never would have. Then I went back home and I actually ended up ending the stream pretty abruptly. It was awkward and painful and very fitting.
Yeah, that was pretty rough. I would like to say that the rest of the recording went really smoothly, but as I mentioned earlier, I have no idea what I'm doing here, so I definitely chose the most inconvenient times to record. I have to be quiet right now because everyone in the house is asleep.
I finally put that unspent skill point into Vein Miner and crafted a vial. Look, nothing against you if you put your first point into heal, but if you're really struggling that bad even with the vial in your first couple of vaults, then you might just suck. I'm just kidding. But as I said, I have played through this before, so I also crafted a soul pouch and then I built a temporary portal. While I was building the portal, I also noticed that there's a giant floating island just above my little island. I definitely want to do something with that later, but I was also pretty embarrassed that I had just noticed it. Using the crystal that I had made during stream, I geared up and finally headed into my first vault. Before starting the timer, I took a moment to complete this quest so I could roll the sword and shield that came as a reward. I think it was because of this that I didn't notice I could have gotten a pouch from the quest about the shard pouch that I had already made. But, you know, you live and you learn. I rolled a decent set of items. I love thorns and will never complain about slowing and chilling clouds. Also, I'm not sure if this is a normal thing in your first vault, but I found the only monolith I need in the first room. I was pretty pumped about it.
Spiders.
Now, I assume anyone watching this has either seen Vault Hunters being played before or played it themselves, so I don't think I have to explain how Vault Hunters works, but I will just in case. Vault Hunters is a mod pack that allows you to level up through the use of vaults. You traverse through vaults, fighting mobs, looting chests. At the beginning you spend what feels like half of the allotted 25 minutes putting vault stuff into shulker boxes, but that gets better, I promise. And gathering all kinds of materials you otherwise couldn't obtain in the overworld. As you level up, the vaults become more difficult to survive, but you also get the opportunity to gain increasingly advanced resources that will allow you to do more in the overworld. At level 100, if you've collected every artifact, you gain the opportunity to fight the Herald. I've not had the privilege of making it that far in the mod pack, but it's definitely one of my goals in this series. I've personally been a fan of this pack since Iskall introduced it a couple years back. I've been pretty invested in all the series he's posted as a result, especially the recent one where he convinced a number of hermits to join him on a server. So you'll definitely have to get used to me making references to things they've done or said, because I think they're absolutely hilarious. For example, I've adopted the phrase, "greed is good," into my daily life at this point. I say it to myself when I want to hit the snooze button on my alarm, or when I want an extra scoop of ice cream. It's also why I felt the need to apologize for leaving the vault with a whole 2.5 minutes left on the timer.
Sorry, Iskall.
And just like that, I made it out of my first vault, life intact. I didn't do the best job of showing the entire haul for these runs, but I'm not really sure what the best way to do so is, so if anyone has any recommendations, let me know. Of course, none of the gear I got in this crate or in the vault was perfect, but it was all better than the iron vanilla gear I had been wearing before, which is the equivalent of literally paper. My ideal set of armor would probably include a bunch of health, extra mana regen, and as much thorns as I can get. Some of which was on a couple of the pieces that I had, so I was excited.
We love that.
This is a weird clip of me trying to show you what gear I now have, but I know if I do that with every piece, it'll get super redundant, so I'll likely only show the exciting stuff from here on out. Meaning the next videos, because I definitely do it again in this one. Sorry. I moved on to use some more skill points, choosing another level in Vein Miner, a much needed level in Dash, and to unlock Javelin early. I know it's not super powerful until later, but I figured it would be good for cubing vault mobs back, if nothing else. Before heading into a second vault, I decided to try and complete a few more quests if it was possible. So I collected my reward pouch and went out to get some string so I could create a loom for the bounty table. While I was spider hunting on the island with the fancy village, I was reminded why it was so very worth it to live on the Mushroom Island and just travel whenever I needed mobs. Creepers suck.
Both of the string.
I got more than I needed, as you always should. Then I went home and crafted the bounty table. I could not, for the life of me, decide which bounty to choose. I was pretty shocked by the one with all the chromatic steel as a reward. I mean, I'd be pretty shocked even if I was at level 50 and received this, but for my first round of bounties, it's pretty crazy.
Wow.
My gut told me to choose the Escallion bounty. It would put me very far ahead in terms of early game materials. But I ended up going with the first one because I knew that the next quest was completing a bounty, and what are the odds that I would find it that easily, right? Anyway, moving on for now. I fed my chest monster a little more and made a new crystal before heading into the second vault. I edited a lot of this one out because it's just a lot of the same thing, but I have to show you that every ore room I found, I was so nervous that I was going to find a Scallium because I told you, my gut told me to pick that bounty. This whole time I was pausing in between every, vein mine because I was afraid that it was going to show up. I still completed my bounty and was working on getting all the monoliths I needed, but, you'll never guess what happened next. Yeah, I definitely had to rage pause for a second there because I knew I should have picked the shiny, beautiful chromatic steel. Say it with me, kids. Greed is good. It was a clean finish to the second vault. I still feel like a minute and a half left is too long to leave in a vault. I'm sorry, Iskall. I was able to complete the bounty and with it, the quest. For some reason, I still didn't choose the Escallion bounty next. I can't explain my logic there because I don't think there was any. Remember my brain cell I mentioned earlier? Yeah, he never came back. I opened my crates, delooted, and showed you more useless footage of me choosing between new gear. Also, I know someone will eventually call me out for not just pressing the shift button to compare gear, but it doesn't work for me, I swear. I've looked for keybind issues, but I have nothing besides crouch bound to shift, and I don't know how to bind comparison to something else. If anyone out there knows what to do, please help me in the comments. I then used the newly acquired skill points, taking another level in dash and 2 levels in heal. I know Iskel has talked about Fortunate being overpowered, but I'm a big supporter. It's just a huge time saver. After completing the bounty quest, I crafted a tool station for the next one, and then a chromatic iron pick for the one after that. I know the questline hints at wanting you to put those 4 jewels on the pick and run with it, considering they make the following task make a jewel applicator, but I knew if I ran another 1 or 2 vaults, I could make something that would also have coin affinity on it. I usually prefer to have one tool purely for looting and another tool purely for breaking blocks. I completed the next few quests, some of which needed a bunch of chromatic steel. See me angrily crafting it when I could have gotten it for free. I was saying some pretty unnice words here, so I couldn't include the vocal audio. While you watch me press a few more buttons, I'm gonna share a bit. So, one of my older sisters is a major workaholic, and somehow that's translated into our family randomly asking each other icebreaker questions. You know, those completely random questions that companies or teachers make everyone answer out loud, supposedly to get to know each other, but really they just make you wish a void would open up beneath your chair and swallow you? Well, those have become a hit in my life, so I hope I can share my newfound love for them with you. Whenever I have moments in videos like this where I don't really know what to say, I will be asking and answering a tantalizing icebreaker question. But my spiel was too long, and we're already in our 3rd vault. The icebreaker will come a little later. I did include a bit more of this vault than the last one because I found 3 champions in the same room. I didn't have my mic on when I was recording. I'm still learning, forgive me. But you can just imagine exclamation marks all around my head. Maybe it's normal to encounter them this early, but it felt special, so I included it in the footage. I also got some pretty fantastic items, including my first Pog. Also, fair warning, it looks like I'm handling these champions pretty well in this vault, but in my last playthrough, I definitely thought I could take on a champion snapping turtle, and was promptly murdered in the face in about 5 seconds, so yeah, more to come. With the last monolith, that vault 2 is complete. So I've shared that I've played through this mod pack before, but not completely. I made it to about level 60, then accidentally deleted the world and couldn't figure out how to get it back. In that world, however, I learned a ton. I am by no means a professional, nor do I claim to know a ton about this game, but I am extremely competitive. In my first playthrough, I played just for the fun of it, but when I saw in the Hermitcraft series that Iskel and Etho competed to see how many chests they could loot in each vault, it sparked a flame in me. I immediately ran to my world to see how many chests I looted on average in a single vault. Now, I never thought I was anywhere near their levels, but seeing a measly 170 to their record of like 800, it was a humbling experience. Now, I don't know if you caught the number of chests that I looted in this 3rd vault, but it was 107. And I vow that that number will go up significantly in this series. Anyway, back to the content. I delooted again, got to make some decisions on gear, and found myself a pretty great magnet so early game. I also got a pretty good chaining sword. I chose to keep the scrappy chestplate over the rare, but looking back at the footage now, I may switch it up since I'll have beginner's grace at least until level 20. Not at least, only until level 20. It was at this point that I felt like I wanted to make my setup a little more permanent, so I decided to start getting ready to build. As you watch me cut down a giant mushroom and kill some flying demon spawn, I will ask my first icebreaker. Here it is. If you could describe yourself as any cereal in the world, which would it be and why? See? I told you. Tantalizing. I would be Special K's Chocolatey Delight cereal. Why? Well, because on the outside, I'm someone that your grandparents would really enjoy. All the fun inside of me is hidden, only to be found after significant sogification in a bowl of milk. Please, please, please tell me what kind of cereal you are in the comments. I need to see. And who knows, maybe you'll find your cereal soulmate down there. I cracked it in Elytra, which I am so grateful we can do in this mod pack. Then I enchanted it with Unbreaking and Mending because I never want to interact with another phantom ever again. I tested it out with a little material gathering and then got to building. I've said it once and I will say it again. I am not a professional, so I didn't realize until the end of making this video that F11 gets rid of all the extra arm bits in the picture. So, yeah, we're learning. I am not a professional and I am not much of a builder either. So when I do build, I tend to use blueprints that other, much more talented people put on the internet and alter them to fit my needs. This first build for the Vault Altar is a perfect example of that. I found a super cool build on Pinterest, their video is linked in the description of course, and changed it up just a bit to fit my theme a bit more. Look guys, I'm trying really hard. I even killed the Wandering Trader. Isn't that what all the YouTubers do? Intruder aside, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, except for the interior. There's something off about it, I'm not really sure what it is. I'm thinking it has something to do with how the colors inside work with the mycelium of the Mushroom Island, but I'm not totally sure. I'll figure out a way to fix it and update you guys later. I added a couple of custom mushrooms out front, and voila! A very dramatic mushroom-themed temple for the Vault Altar. Okay, now this next clip is a very short show-off of a vault portal I built based off of another Pinterest post. There is no actual footage of me building it because I did so at like 4 in the morning after watching the entirety of the Twilight series with my brother-in-law's mom. There also may or may not have been a bottle of wine involved in the process, but I recorded the finished product and added leaves and the stubby mushroom the next morning.
So yeah, as you can see, I have learned a lot during this process. I am gonna stop the video here because I've been sitting on making this for like 2 weeks, and at this point, I just want to post something and get it out there. So if any of you have any recommendations or any advice, it would be really helpful. Just be kind. I've never done this. Um, but yeah, I hope it was enjoyable for some of you, and it will get better in the future. I promise. Anyway, if you've watched this far, thank you so much, and I hope you all have a great day. Bye!